watching news at Prime. Let's take you back now to our leading story, and it is the group of Afrikaners who are currently at the OR Tambo International Airport preparing to jet off to the United States. They are part of US President Donald Trump's resettlement program after an executive order that was issued back in February of this year to resettle them as part of what he called, this is what President of the United States said, and I quote, was escaping government-sponsored race-based discrimination. We can talk now to the Transport Department spokesperson, Colin Msibi, who is live for us there at the OR Tambo International Airport. Good to have you, Mr. Msibi, and thanks indeed for your time. Let's start with the role of the Transport Department when it comes to international flights that enter the South African airspace, particularly those that are seen as non-commercial. What are the checks and balances there? What are the issues that have got to be sorted out?
Thanks for having us. First of all, I think the reason why I'm here, it is mainly because there was an application which was lodged with the Council, which is an International Air Services Council, that was lodged on the 5th of May. So we've had to take that application to the Council. So what happens with that specific application, you've got to state a number of things. First of all, the flight, how many flights are involved, how many passengers are we talking about, and the route as well that you're going to be taking. So all that information was contained, but most of all, it was the reason. It was stated quite clearly that this is for the Afrikaners who are relocating to the US as refugees. So basically, the application was mainly for that reason. So we've had to take that application to the Council. As you know, the Council is an independent body. So they've approved the permit, which is what they call the Foreign Operators Permit, which was approved. But there are a number of things involved, including the technical aspect of the flight that is being used, which has to be checked by the CAA, which was done, including the paperwork of the crew members. So that was taken to the Council, and hence the application was approved. We're talking about 49 people, from what I saw, in terms of those who are going to be on this particular flight. But as I talk to you, the flight was flying over Gaborone. It should be here in 30 minutes, and they're going to be leaving at 8 o'clock.
Okay, all right. So in terms of that flight schedule, these times that you have mentioned, those haven't changed. It's almost as though they are indeed going to depart OR Tambo at 8 p.m. tonight.
Absolutely, at 8 o'clock. You must also remember that the obligation of the operator is to submit what they call a flight plan to ATNS. So that ATNS can also be aware in terms of the flight that is coming into our airspace. So that was done, and they are quite aware what's happening. As they leave, first of all, let me just say that this flight comes from Texas, and it went through Dakar and to OR Tambo. So as it takes off at 8 o'clock, it's going to go the same route, OR Tambo, Dakar, and it is Washington, Dallas Airport in Washington, D.C., and then back to Texas.
Yeah.
So basically, that's the route that they are taking. And as they pass all these stations, they need to report to the ATNS in terms of their whereabouts. So it is part of the mandate of the ATNS.
Okay, let's talk about the travelers themselves. Your department, does it play any role in terms of the background checks? We understand that if any of the people that are said to be leaving for the United States, if there is some kind of failure to pass a clearance, then it is expected that they cannot be permitted to leave. Are you part of that?
Part of the conditions of this permit that was approved is the vetting process. So all the passengers, it was the condition of granting this particular permit for all the passengers to be vetted. And that falls outside of our scope as the Department of Transport. It has to be done by the SAPS or the state security. We believe that it has been done. I'm not so sure, I cannot confirm for sure. But of course, the fact that they've been here at the airport, they've been processed and checked in, it does mean that they have been vetted. So that is a condition which is in the permit. If the vetting wasn't done, nobody would have left. Nobody would have been checked in.
And you wouldn't know the extent of the vetting. In other words, what is it that the department in question would be looking for in terms of what these individuals have or do not have against their names?
No, certainly it's outside our purview. It would be the SAPS or state security that can comment on that. But I can assure you the issue is that we do not want to allow somebody who's got a criminal case pending to be leaving the country. I think that's one of the things that is being looked at.
Mr. Colin Msibi, thank you very much indeed for your time tonight, speaking to us on behalf of the Department of Transport. Colin Msibi clarifying a few details, and so it would appear that it's all systems go for the first group of 49 people that are destined for the United States.